Sairam, everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. I would like to thank Bhagwan for this wonderful opportunity and all of you at the same time. My today's topic would be very much similar to what Archana said in the beginning, saying that Bhagwan always says that I am with you, in you, around you. But with me, there was this experience that he gone a step further, and he told me that everything belongs to me. So this was way back in 1986. I just had finished my high school and I had applied for admission in Prashanti. And I had gone there for my test, entrance and interview, and I got through. So once I paid the hostel fee and tuition fee, and then it's a ritual that wherever Bhagwan is, then you head to see Bhagwan, meet him, try to see him, or try to get his blessings there. So he was in Whitefield. So in '86, I went to Whitefield, and I stayed there for about a week. So in the first 3 days, with our Bhagwan, it's usual. You don't exist anywhere. Even if you're sitting right under his nose, he doesn't see that you exist. So he went past like a cool breeze, and we were just begging to look up here, there, try to make attention. No chance. So on the fourth day, he called me for an interview. So I went in. So we were about 6 or 7 prospective students who had gotten through some elders. So it was a jam-packed house. So the interview went on for a long time. Still no conversation. There is nothing that I exist or I'm sitting in the room. No, nothing. So about an hour and 15 minutes gone to the interview. Then he called me to come in the front. So I was sitting by his side. So he said, "Padhai kaise chal raha hai?" So how the education is going? So I said, "Swami, I finished 12th." Very proud. From his point of view, education for me is schooling. So we did. I said, "Swami, 12th pass ho gaya, aapke yahan admission ho gaya. I am on 7th heaven." So he says, "Ye thoda padhai hai. I'm talking about the other padhai which you are doing." So at that time, during my school years, I used to undergo a lot of spiritual practices and understanding of scriptures, Vedas, Upanishads from my gurus, different gurus. So I just finished 3-4 years of Brahma Gyan, what it is and everything. So we were moving on to the next stage of Atma Gyan. So he was asking about it, कि कैसा चल रहा है. मैंने कहा स्वामी कुछ डाउट्स हैं, तो आप उसको थोड़ा क्लैरिफाई कर दो. तो ये पूछा क्या डाउट है. मैंने कहा जो लैडर आप बताते हो आपके डिस्कोर्सेस में और काफी चीजों में ये होता है कि माता पिता गुरु दैवम, दैट्स मदर फादर, then your we can call it a teacher or guru or preceptor, and then the God. So in that definition, what is the understanding in that level? So he says, from the point of view. So then he looked at me, he says, "Why you get into all these small trivial things of life? Everything belongs to me, and this is going on in my mother tongue, which is Tamil, and there is nobody else who can understand this there, because there's nobody else who was Tamilian there." So there was very silent response. So he says, "I am everything, everything belongs to me. That is your level of understanding." I said, "Okay, that is knowledge." I said, "That's fine, Swami. Then you go now and get into the nature, the Prakriti. Now you have understood what it is in Brahma Gyan about the God, what Shiva is. Now go outside and visit places which has Prakriti and understand why I am God. Everything belongs to me." This was '86. So I came back, then went back. There's a big story behind that. That's another experience. I'll keep it for some other time. Then after I graduated my MBA, then in '94, I was working. Then I was called to Prashanti for some seva activities. So I went there. So we did the seva, and then, every seva you have to report to Bhagwan. So in '94, '95, we did that, and he called me for an interview. The experience in 1986 was that once the interview was done, he created a 5-bead, 108 tiny Rudraksh, which was like a mala. It was a mala, all tied together. There was no single opening. So he put it on me, and it would just come till my the collarbone, touching the collarbone, and it was just around like this, very tight. I was so happy, came out. Then the interview people were asking, what was it? What did he give to? Everybody touched it, took a blessing. Nothing. I was very happy with it. In the evening, it dawned upon me that how did this mala get into my neck? Because my head was the same. Maybe the hairline was a little lighter, but head was the same size, and there's no way he could have, but he put it on. So this was done. I was living with it, very powerful. In 95, he told me to go to Badrinath, Kedarnath, and we spent some time there and then come back and see me in Prashanti. So we went. In those days, I used to travel by bike. So that was my only mode of transportation. So I had gone to, I planned it. So a friend of mine also joined. So we went to Badrinath. We had just crossed at 5:30 p.m. Joshimath, and we were heading up. About halfway, there was a big landslide. So everybody was stuck. But because I was on a timeline given by Bhagwan, so I have to reach Badrinath. I took the bike, went over the rubbles, crossed about 300 meters of rubbles. The road line was completely blocked. Then we went to the other side and then drove. And then, anybody who had gone, everybody would have gone to a hill station or a hilly place. By 5:30, it becomes dark because you don't see the sunlight, just the light of the skies remains intact. But if you go deeper, higher, it's dark. So I was about 6:30, 7:30, 8 o'clock. We were about to cross. There was a big noise because there is a river which flows under that in the mountainous area. So there was a bridge which we were supposed to cross. So then, but because the bike headlight is always straight, so there was an incline, and then I went up, landed on the bridge, driving, and we fell down. The reason was the bridge was made out of wooden planks, and 2 planks were missing. So my front tire was stuck, and I was hanging on the bridge, and we fell down. Because it was cold, normally when I drive a bike, I am very well layered. So I had a turtleneck similar to this t-shirt, and then a layer of mountain suit, which is also a turtleneck, tight. On top of it, I had a jacket, which was even tighter. It was like a space suit, which is cold and windproof. And then I had my helmet on. We fell down, picked up the bike, managed, we had a torchlight. So we looked around, moved the bike, we drove. And then when I was driving, I could not do the accelerator with this arm, because what happened was the mirror had broken, and the glass from the mirror had pierced through my wrist. So it was right on the joint here. I still have a big mark. So it had gone in so deep, and I could not do this movement. But we managed slowly another 10 kilometers. We went. At the beginning, there was a hospital. In those days, the army used to keep a temporary post for people if there's any medical conditions. So I went to see the doctor. He said, "Oh, the glass has gone about 1.5 centimeter inside your wrist, so we'll have to take it out and see stitches are needed." And he put a pressure bandage, and it was all band-aid fully. So then I went to the hotel, checked in, and then he gave me a couple of shots, so I slept off. But in the morning, I had to wake up at 4 because of the first darshan. So I had to go for a bath. So when I went to take a bath, it dawned upon me that my Rudraksh mala is gone. And it was a shocker for me that how the hell that Rudraksh mala went off my neck. I had no clue. So I lost my the motivation to take darshan, but still we made an effort. I stood there with no darshan of Badri Prasad, no darshan. The Panditji looking at me says, "Kya ho gaya?" मैंने कहा कुछ नहीं, आपका he could read my face and he says, "आपका चेहरा आज आप ठीक नहीं लग रहे हो और हाथ में पट्टी कुछ हो गया?" मैंने कहा नहीं, भगवान ने मेरे को एक माला दिया था और वो मेरे से गुम हो गया। तो मैंने कहा भगवान कौन से? मैंने कहा मेरे गुरु भगवान सत्य साई बाबा। ही हेल्ड माय आर्म लाइक दिस और अपनी तरफ खींच के बोला, साई बाबा ने दिया था, हाँ कोई बात नहीं, वो भगवान तुम्हें एक और दे देंगे, अभी पूजा कर लो। तो he says, come here, Satya Sai Baba gave you, but do the puja now and then do. Then we did the puja and then we finished the trip and everything. Kedarnath, I went back to Parthi with the same bike. We went back to Puttaparthi. We reached in the evening, so we missed the darshan, but we attended the bhajan. Then I was on the next day. I was very excited and I was also very sad. And I said, I want to see Swami and I want to inform. So I wrote a letter and I had kept it. And our Bhagwan has got his own ways. You don't exist at all. So no, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 15 days now, I'm sitting, no. And I said, okay, then the wound started healing. I keep going to general hospital, checking it out. And then about 20, 25 days afterwards, he calls me, took my letter. He says, what is in the letter? I said, Swami, everything about the trip, and I'm very sorry that. So you can't speak? So you have to write it and give it to me? I said, Swami, you're not even seeing me for so many days. How can I speak to you? So he says, go. So I went in for the interview. And as usual, interview room, everybody talks to everybody except me. And then after some time, he calls me. What did I tell you when I gave you that mala? I said, Swami, I remember very clearly. So I said, Swami, you told that everything belongs to you. I said, that's good. And what did I tell you after that? He said, this is the ultimate knowledge, and the mala would give you one pointed focusedness to attain that knowledge, and you will not be disturbed by the society, by friends, by anything in the world, but you'll focus on that. I said, that's fine. But as usual, as a growing up, I was in an advertising industry, so distractions are part of my job. So I was going on well. So then he said, you know where it fell? I said, Swami, I think when I had an accident on that bridge, do you know what flows underneath? So I said, Swami, Alaknanda. Oh, Alaknanda river is the top. Do you know what is underneath that river? I said, Swami, I know that river Saraswati's Udgam Sthal, which is the origin of river Saraswati, is at the Vyas Gufa, just above Manas Gaon in Badrinath. And he says, yes. So that mala fell down in river Saraswati. I said, no way, Swami. I had layers and layers of clothing, and it was so tight, it wouldn't have fallen off because I never took it out in the past 9 years, 9 or 10 years. He says, it belongs to me. I can take it like this, and I can take you like this. I can give you back your life like this. So nothing is impossible. And then he did this and showed me the same mala. And he says, no, it was meant for it. It has come back to me. So believe that everything belongs to God. So I want to reiterate this point is even till today, I believe is that this life doesn't belong to us. This body doesn't belong to us. This social setup in which we live doesn't belong to us. I don't belong to my mother. I don't belong to my father. My father doesn't belong to me. My mother doesn't belong to me. My son, my wife, my brother, nobody belongs to me. I belong to only Bhagwan. They belong to Bhagwan. They belong to God in their own way. We are just so stuck up in our day-to-day social setting that we forget this truth, because everything comes back to him, because he's the originator and he is the one who will take it back. So I learned that lesson that day, that everything, and this is not the first time, it's the fourth thing which Bhagwan gave he took it back without I dropping it anywhere. then in my life, I had many accidents, just this much close to death. And at that moment, I believed that if I had to die, I will die, because I have no association with life. And when I was about to die, and I was in that, I surrendered. I said, okay, it belongs to you. My life came back. So it's a proven evidence. If I have forgotten over a period of time, which we get involved in life and we forgot. I think recently also I got a good reminder that if I leave it to him, if I have to go, I will be gone. If I have to live, nobody in this world, corona, flu, any kind of thing cannot affect you. It will come, it will go past you. It will use your body to stay there for some days as a paying guest, and then will leave, because we are also a paying guest here. We are renting this place. We are renting our body. We are renting our karmas. We are renting our social status. We are renting our professional life. We are renting. Everything is rent. Nothing we own. We may sign a official document that this belongs to us. No, we don't. It's Bhagwan's, it's Swami's, it's God's property, and we just are living example of using that property for a time being and paying our rent in terms of gratitude, in terms of helping others, and in terms of utilizing our body to help everyone possible and nothing else. So I thought, and every one of you who are part of this group, who are listening, and whoever is listening through other mediums and would like to join, my request is, your life is his life, and his life has the best of experiences one has. Try to say it out so that we all can gain knowledge. And sometimes we need that reiteration of this knowledge from some source. We don't have to read Bhagavad Gita, we don't have to read Ramayana, we don't have to spend time in understanding. So Swami never told to go through all this, but he would have told specific people, because they have their Atma from a previous birth has got this inquisitiveness to learn certain things. That's why they are put on to these places. Whereas for the rest of us, it's just a book, a belief. But if we trust that the life belongs to Bhagwan and God is the one doer and nothing else, I think we will be very happy. The stress in our life would be zero. And because of our stress being zero, we will emit the same to the society. So when the consciousness of each one of us is clubbed together, comes together, then any kind of pandemic or any kind of sickness we can conquer. But thanks for your patience and thanks for listening. Sai Ram.